Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm giving our praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakwadash. Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and the house of David is rising. We are back at you with another lesson with the power and the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. So this one going to be on the godfather of AI, quits Google, warns of dangers. Got a couple of quick clips to look at, and we're going to tie it all in with the prophecy precepts, prophecy scriptures. And yeah, man, this is without further ado, let's just go in and take it to the top. This is the godfather of the AI. This reminds me of something.
Smart speakers to self-driving cars are...
Take it to the top.
From smart speakers to self-driving cars, artificial intelligence has worked its way into modern life. Geoffrey Hinton is known as the godfather of AI. His groundbreaking work at the University of Toronto paved the way for much of that technology. Now he warns it's progressing so quickly it could soon outpace humans.
I'm sounding the alarm and saying we have to worry about this.
Hinton says he quit his job as a senior VP at Google this week so he could discuss the dangers of AI freely, including being used to spread misinformation. And while this might sound like a Hollywood movie, he says there's a chance AI could literally start thinking for itself.
If they're much smarter than us, they'll be very good at manipulating us. You won't realize what's going on.
Concern about artificial intelligence has surged since last year's launch of ChatGPT, an advanced chatbot that communicates with humans and can even mimic their speech. Since then, a chorus of tech titans have called for a 6-month pause on advanced AI experiments.
Take steps maybe to keep it from being too horrible and bad.
This expert says AI has improved almost every industry, from medicine to manufacturing. But there are risks.
The genie's out of the bottle, and stopping it is not an option. And so how do we guide it?
Right. He said the genie's out of the bottle. Right, man. So the cat's out of the bag, as the Yankees them say. So how do we what's the word how do we patch up? How do we patch up? The genie's already out of the bottle. How do we patch up?
An option. And so how it is not an option. And so how do we guide it? And how do we prepare our institutions?
Crucial question.
So in other words, the danger's already been done. We've let the cat out of the bag. How do we cover it up? How do we try and make the best of a bad situation?
Ringing out from Silicon Valley to Washington.
Tech companies have a responsibility, in my view, to make sure their products are safe before making them public.
But critics say governments will need to hold companies accountable.
These companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars on lobbying. They work hard to shape regulation to ensure that it benefits them and doesn't stand in the way of those two imperatives, profit and growth.
So as artificial intelligence races ahead, the world needs to catch up. The godfather of AI.
Right. The world is behind the artificial intelligence. So what did Elon Musk say? I remember one of his quotes. He said, we're going to summon the demon. The demon has been summoned through their various technologies, the artificial intelligence. And as I just said that, there was a lightning striking and thunders rolling, man. So is this the hopeful year of all the prophecies coming to pass? Maybe it's this year, late this year, maybe it's next year. But prophecies are definitely coming to pass. The CERN and Elon Musk, one of his quotes, he said, we have summoned the demon. Man, so something comes to mind when I watch these videos. Let's check out another clip. And he's being interviewed by, this is him again on CNN. Geoffrey Hinton again on CNN, talking about the same subject. Let's check this one out.
Joining us now to discuss Geoffrey Hinton. Geoffrey, thanks so much for joining us. So you left your job with Google in part because you say you want to focus solely on your concerns about AI. You've spoken out saying that AI could manipulate or possibly figure out a way to kill humans. How could it kill humans?
Well, eventually, if it gets to be much smarter than us, it'll be very good at manipulation because it will have learned that from us. And there are very few examples of a more intelligent thing being controlled by a less intelligent thing. And it knows how to program, so it'll figure out ways of getting around restrictions we put on it. It'll figure out ways.
Man, that's a big statement he just said there. Big statement. People might not, that might go over a lot of people's head. This is a more intelligent thing than the humans. That's what they're saying. That's what he just said. This AI, artificial intelligence, is more intelligent than humans. Even now, he's saying, and it's being controlled and being programmed by something less intelligent beneath it, less intelligent than it. That's, I don't know about that. I find that quite. I find that quite. That's kind. I got to hear that one again. That's heavy. So Elon Musk wasn't joking. He said we have summoned the demon. Boy, man.
Well, eventually, if it gets to be much smarter than us, it'll be very good at manipulation because it will have learned that from us. And there are very few examples of a more intelligent thing being controlled by a less intelligent thing.
Okay, if it gets more intelligent than us, it'll be very smart at manipulating.
And it knows how to program, so it'll figure out ways of getting around restrictions we put on it. It'll figure out ways of manipulating people to do what it wants.
So what do we do? Do we just need to pull the plug on it right now? Do we need to put in far more restrictions?
You pull the plug on it, the cat's already out the bag. That's what they already said.
And backstops on this? How do we solve this problem?
It's not clear to me that we can solve this problem. I believe we should put a big effort into thinking about ways to solve the problem. I don't have a solution at present. I just want people to be aware that this is a really serious problem and we need to be thinking about it very hard. I don't think we can stop the progress. I didn't sign the petition saying we should stop working on AI because if people in America stopped, people in China wouldn't. It's very hard to verify whether people are doing it.
There have been some whistleblowers who have been warning about the dangers of AI over the past few years. One of them, Timnit Gebru, was forced out of Google for voicing his concerns. Looking back on it, do you wish that you had stood behind these whistleblowers more?
Timnit's actually a woman.
Oh, sorry.
So they were rather different concerns from mine. I think it's easier to voice concerns if you leave the company first. And their concerns aren't as existentially serious as the idea of these things getting more intelligent than us and taking over.
Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple.
I think it's easier to voice concerns if you leave the company first. And their concerns aren't as existentially serious as the idea of these things getting more intelligent than us and taking over.
Steve,
so it seems like he's the only one that's made that decision to quit Google, recognizing the potential that this AI will become more intelligent than humans, and he had to leave so that he could become a whistleblower. He had to leave. He had to quit first. That's what he just said.
Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple, is also speaking out about the dangers he fears will come from AI. Take a listen.
Now, AI is another more powerful tool, and it's going to be used by those people, for basically really evil purposes. And I hate to see technology being used that way. It shouldn't be.
Who are those people? He's talking about all the other nations, them. About Moab, Amnon, the so-called Chinese and the Japanese, the Russians that are ahead of them. They fear. They've always been aware of the enemies, what the enemies can do. What's this guy's name? Steve Wozniak.
Now, AI is another more powerful tool, and it's going to be used by those people, for basically really evil purposes. And I hate to see technology being used that way. It shouldn't be, and probably some types of regulation are needed.
It sounds like you agree.
Steve Wozniak just spoke, co-founder of Apple. These ain't people. These ain't just average Joes here. These are guys that former godfather of AI, and the pioneer of Apple just spoke, the recent one. So both these guys, these are not average Joes, man. Everyday guys, godfather of AI. Did you want to hear what he said again?
Will come from AI. Take a listen.
Now AI
intelligent than us and taking over.
Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple,
Steve
is also
Wozniak.
speaking out about the dangers he fears will come from AI. Take a listen.
Now, AI is another more powerful tool, and it's going to be used by those people, for basically really evil purposes. And I hate to see technology being used that way. It shouldn't be, and probably some types of regulation are needed.
It sounds like you agree.
So they're talking about some type of regulation. In other words, damage control. They need to take action. Damage control. The cat's already out the bag. The damage has already been done, but now they're talking about the regulation, damage control. And I'll try and let this video flow for the rest of it now.
That way, it shouldn't be, and probably some types of regulation are needed.
It sounds like you agree.
I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. What should that regulation look like?
I'm not an expert on how to do regulation. I'm just a scientist who suddenly realized that these things are getting smarter than us. And I want to sort of blow the whistle and say we should worry seriously about how we stop these things getting.
And just to say, there's things have already been happening. People have already died. People have already been run over by so-called AI control cars, remote control cars. They ain't telling you these things. He's just telling you that I'm going to quit because I don't want to take responsibility. I don't want to get sentenced to, a potential, what they call it when over there in America when people die, mass murder. He doesn't want to be sent. He's protecting himself. He doesn't want to be locked up for mass murder because these things people have already kicked the bucket because of these things already. So there's a lot of damage. He's talking about there need to be damage control, and I want to get out of here and protect. I'm running for the hills. I don't want no responsibility for mass murder.
I'm just a scientist who suddenly realized that these things are getting smarter than us. And I want to sort of blow the whistle and say we should worry seriously about how we stop these things getting control over us. And it's going to be very hard, and I don't have the solutions. I wish I did.
Does there need to be a meeting of all of the tech groups and governments working on this, Google, China, whatever, and some sort of set of rules of the road? I mean, how do we even protect against bad actors or rogue nations harnessing AI?
So for some things, it's very hard, like...
You hear that? How do we get protection from rogue nations? You know what he's talking about. You have to read between the lines as well when you listen to these people. They talk in codes.
China, whatever, and some...
control over us. And it's going to be very hard, and I don't have the solutions. I wish I did.
Does there need to be a meeting of all of the tech groups and governments working on this, Google, China, whatever, and some sort of set of rules of the road? I mean, how do we even protect against bad actors or rogue nations harnessing AI?
So for some things, it's very hard, like them using AI for manipulating electorates or for fighting wars with robot soldiers. But for the existential threat of AI taking over, we're all in the same boat. It's bad, like them using AI for
Google, China, whatever, and some sort of set of rules of the road? I mean, how do we even protect against bad actors or rogue nations harnessing AI?
So for some things, it's very hard, like them using AI for manipulating electorates or for fighting wars with robot soldiers. But for the existential threat of AI taking over, we're all in the same boat. It's bad for all of us. And so we might be able to get China and the US to agree on things like that. It's like nuclear weapons. If there's a nuclear war, we all lose. And it's the same if these things take over. So since we're all in the same boat, we should be able to get agreement between China and the US on things like that.
Do you think that tech companies will be the solution, or are they so invested in this financially, and also, let's be frank, in terms of power, that they're not going to be part of the solution here?
I think the tech companies are the people most likely to be able to see how to keep this stuff under control.
Geoffrey Hinton, thank you.
Right. So that was the Godfather, the former pioneer of the AI, who quit Google to become a spokesman, and he's going around now doing lectures on the dangers of the AI. Things have already been happening, like I say. So they say that they're all in the same boat regarding this thing taking over. They can't stop the soldiers. They can't. It's going to be useful regarding the super soldiers and fighting against wars. That's out the cat's out of the bag. But to regulate it now for our own protection, we're all in the same boat. Let's hit some precepts because and also something comes to mind, man. Something comes to mind here. Anybody saw the movie Avengers: Age of Ultron? One of my favorite movies. Those who know me know I like the action movies. I'm into the action, but even better than that, I'm into the superhero action and drama. and this is a character here, this movie here, and I still like it up to this day. But I like the storyline as well, and it reminds me is exactly what happened in the movie, because you know they say they tell you in the symbolism that they show in their movies, they tell you what's about to happen, man. You just have to read between the lines. If you can see, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, the Age of Ultron robot movie storyline says, after a successful raid on a Hydra base, Tony Stark and Bruce Banner created an artificial intelligence called Ultron, a peacekeeping protocol designed to help the Avengers protect the world from their enemies. This is exactly why they created artificial intelligence today. You know, so they could use it in wars. They say it's helped with their health. It's controlled all the corporations. It's improved all of the corporations, you name it. Pharmacy, health. They're talking about the cars, the electronic cars, which they know there's been a lot of hiccups on the road to creating better of those things. Now they're talking about damage control. A lot of things have gone wrong, which they're not talking about. So, what is the robot in Age of Ultron? Who is the robot in Age of Ultron? I just tapped in some of these things because the movie comes to mind. Today, we will be focusing on the voice behind the menacing Ultron, the corrupted artificial intelligence created by Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. Ultron is a powerful villain known best as the main antagonist in Avengers. Age of Ultron. Ultron has superhuman abilities, telekinesis, technology, manipulation. Those were some of the words that stuck out with me when they was doing those interviews. Both of these interviews here. Both of these interviews. You got the Godfather of the Google who quit because he wants to be able to have his voice and explain the dangers. They say the cat's out the bag. And they're worried about that, and they want to do damage control. This thing is real thing. You saw it, and there was another guy coming out as well. This guy's name is Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple. Two big names, man. So these are now they've become whistleblowers. They're running for the hills. They don't want the responsibility of bodies, mass bodies on their hands. So we just looked at Avengers: Age of Ultron robot movie storyline, and I tapped in what happened to Ultron, because there's a lot of action in the movie. But just picking out some of the points. If you ain't seen the movie, if you're into action movies and stuff like that and AI, you might like it. This is the last Avenger story. Ultron is destroyed by a Vision, sacrificing his own artificial life. If you know about Vision, one powerful robot. It took another robot to destroy the antagonist robot. How did he destroy him? This is what he did. It said Vision used up all his powers. You see, but I'm tying it in with this is what happened. This is what happened in the movie. I'm tying it in with what's happening now. Is this the age of Ultron we're living in now? Vision used up all his powers to erase Ultron from the internet and all servers, so that may have degenerized him, and therefore he fainted. Degenerized, yeah, because he's a robot. He's not a real thing. Vision, which is another robot. So we're tying this in, man, and you know what? The mighty men are gonna come back potentially. Where the mighty men were back there with King David doing their thing. Those mighty men are gonna come back here, 144,000, the man with spiritual power, and we're gonna be able to disarm. Yeah, and I'm talking about all those that are going to be endowed with spiritual power. We're going to be going up against these AIs, these RoboCops, these dogs, the Titan dog, and it ain't no thing for the Most High to give you the power to do it. And how did they get rid of the Age of Ultron in the end? Let's carry on. We're going to get to the crunch. So how did Ultron turn bad? System which was designed to prioritize human life, however, when Stark aided the global security protocols, the AI became unstable and prone to making independent decisions. This resulted in Ultron developing a flawed and dangerous understanding of the world and humanity, because he became self-aware. As this what's happening now, they're becoming more intelligent than humans. The AI, the artificial intelligence, becoming more intelligent than human, self-aware. That's what happened in the movie. Ultron, the robot, became self-aware. He knew what he was, and he knew his maker and what he can do potentially. And he knew that he was created to save the world, protect the world. But because he knew that they potentially could kill him anytime, he saw them as, rather than being a defender of them, he saw them as the enemy. He saw them as the enemy, and therefore he wanted to do away with them. His creator, his maker, it's backfired. That's what they're talking about. That's what's happening now with the ease. But you know what? There's scriptures to back it up, man. Whatsoever a man soweth, that he should also reap. They summoned the demon. Be careful what you ask for. That's what Elon Musk said. They're summoning a demon, right? And they got their son. Be careful what you ask for. The Avengers then traveled to Sokovia, where Ultron was, as Vision had blocked him from escaping onto the internet. Vision again, one of my favorite superheroes, so-called superheroes. Vision, and we got to have vision, as the apostles say. We got to have vision. So there's little things you can pick up, man. For just little things you can pick up. They say there's truth in jest. There's a lot of truth in jest. So you can in other words pick sense out of nonsense. Let me say it like that. We can pick sense out of nonsense, and they put things up there for you to figure them out and put them together. Vision had blocked him from escaping onto the internet, limiting him to only his prime robotic body, and the Sentry robots had built to assist him. So he was able to manipulate Ultron was the ability that he had. His strength was he was able to manipulate and use the internet, which means he had more power. But Vision blocked him out of the internet, because this was an internet battle, a mind against mind battle with Vision and Ultron. Mind against mind, two powerful minds going at it. And Vision blocked him out of the internet, so therefore he was only reduced to his own body, that body, and a lot of his minions, his other robots that he was controlling that he had control of in the movie. So it was more of an even playing field when he could no longer use the internet. But you see, I'll say that to say the future looks like we are the mighty men that are back. Abaratazar, that's us. 144,000, the elect, yeah, we're those men. through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, going to be going up against them. So we're going to have control, and the Most High is going to give us that power to, all we got to do is just switch off their internet abilities, whatever had the Most High. What happened in the end though, which is a lot, which the ending, you could see what happened. Hulk just smashed him, pulled off his head. He smashed up his body, pulled off his head, because Hulk has just got the raw strength and power. But they needed more than that. And then you had the Scarlet Witch. He was still clicking over the body, the computer, what they call it, the Pentium computer was still running in his brain. So Scarlet Witch has her magic, and she pulled the mechanical brain out of its head and switched it off. Oh, it was very funny. But you see, we're just using those things. Like, we're picking sense from nonsense, man. Is this the age of Ultron? We are in the age of Ultron. They're worried. That's why they're doing this Geoffrey Hinton is going around doing lectures, talking about this is dangerous. This ain't healthy for us. We're all in the same boat. This artificial intelligence is dangerous. Let's bring out some precepts, because what did they say? What did Elon Musk say? We're summoning a demon. They knew. So Job chapters 9, let's hit some precepts now. Job chapters 9:24 says, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the earth has been given unto these. It's like you're giving a baby. You give a baby a Rubik's Cube to play with, just to figure out and to work out. Something's just too big for them. Or give a baby a Rolls Royce to drive. A little newborn baby. They don't know what the frig. What can they do with it? They don't know what to do with it. It's too big for them. It's too complicated. A baby to ease them to they have been given the earth, man. You understand? The earth has been given, and they don't know what to do with it. They think they do with their arrogance and their artificial intelligence, that they have nothing. They don't know how. It's out of their hands now. The dog has bolted, or the cat is out of the bag, as they say, and then they want to do some kind of what's the word? Let's read this precept. It's gonna come to me the word I'm looking for. So 2 Thessalonians, let's read a couple of these verses in 2 Thessalonians 5, chapters 2 and verse 5 says, remember not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what forholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mysteries of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. I'll read that again and take my time. For the mysteries of iniquity doth already work, and only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume. Lord God will consume these wicked. We just had that mockery show. It was Saturday, the inauguration, that mockery Muppet show. Miss Piggy and Oscar the Grouch was crowned the Muppet Puppet Sesame Street show. So they've been revealed. Once they put those things on their head, which is all stolen property, they've brought it upon themselves. They've now put themselves up to be put down again by Yahweh Hashem Shai. Yeah, man. So that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, and they work for Satan. And one of the elders apostles, Gabar, mentioned that this took place on Sunday. The inauguration took place 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days. 666 after the death of you know, the big time criminal. You understand? The big boss criminal, the queen. So that's symbolic of the mark of the beast, which we go into that in Revelation. So these are all symbols and signs that the Satan, the devil, because they work for Satan, the devil, 2 Thessalonians 2:9, even whom is coming after the working of Satan with all powerful and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie. So this is all patch up, damage control that they're trying to do here, which they know they say we're all in the same boat now. This thing we're gonna be got, man. We're gonna be consumed up. Yeah, for this cause God shall send them strong delusions, that they might believe a lie. They certainly had faith in their AI, their CERN. They had a lot of faith in that, but the Most High put that on them, on their hearts. That's also mentioned in Revelation 17:17. We're going to hit that. We're going to hit that one as well. For this cause God shall send them strong delusions, that they might believe a lie. They summoned the demon, like the demon was going to be their help, was going to come to their aid. 12, that they all might be damned. The age of Ultron. Is this the age of Ultron? And I'm going to try not to stop laughing. I'm going to try to stop laughing through my videos, because what's coming down the pipe ain't no laughing matter for them, right? But you know what? The Most High is laughing. He's laughing, pursuant to Psalms 2. He's laughing. He's going to laugh at them. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. They're going to be damned, man. You know, and I remember years ago, they had a camera come in. They brought the camera into my school, and I was very young, and they was asking some questions, and I remember saying, you know, deep questions for young children, but I remember answering the question. I said they're going to be destroyed by their own technology, and that's up there. And I was very young. I must have been very, very young, just early teens or around that age. And I remember saying it, man. And that was me prophesying. They're going to be destroyed by their own technology. That's what I said. And is that coming true? That's definitely coming true. Let's hit this one now in Job chapters 30. Just to back up what we just read. Job chapters 30 and 1, it says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Right. These are our little young children, man. You know, in the spirit they are anyway. Right. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. That's Job talking about that. He didn't want them around, even his dogs. He probably saw what they was like. He said, "Nah, I got to protect my dog from these people." Right? It's 4 now. Jump down to 4. Whose cut up mellows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat, that they was driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Right, little just making all them kind of grouchy, greedy noises. You seen it? You seen Captain Caveman, and there was a lot of those old movies. What's the name of that movie? The Quest for Fire, and all those ancient old caveman movies. That's an old one. Quest for Fire. That's in the 60s or 70s, either late 60s or early 70s. Those kind of movies. Yeah. 6. Who dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, right? Go back to Mount Seir. Yeah, how they build their towns, replicas of the Romans, in the cliffs, in the rocks, and that's how they like to live. Yeah, they dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks among the bushes. They brayed under the nettles. They were gathered together. Again, those movies again. Quest for Fire, you know, all dressed in them kind of old, just wrapped up in maybe buffalo clothes or bear clothes, just them kind of. You've seen the movies, man. You know how they used to, yeah, you know, as to look, basically all hairy, half naked, braiding around, scavenging for food. They were children of fools. This is the kicker. Yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Base men, viler than the earth. Base men, and we know when you're talking about base, something that is below, beneath. We can even go into that and do a video about that. You know, get into some of them words like I've been doing. I'm enjoying getting more into those words. Those words are good to know them. Yeah, more arsenal in your when it comes to when you're out there, you need more. The more arsenal you have in your curriculum, I'll say that, the better you can use them at the appropriate times. So yeah, man, to build up our spiritual warfare in the spirit. So Job chapter 20 now, a couple of these verses, 5 says, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrites but for a moment, man. Yeah, they're worrying how long. We don't know how long we got now. That's Romans, and now that's Revelations chapters 12 and 12. They know they have a short time. But they tried to come back, they want to summons the demon. And the demon is showing himself to be growing out of control. Potentially going to grow out of control so big that it's going to come against them. And like I say again, all the Most High has to do, if they ever try and set their AI technology dogs, the Titan dog, all these weaponized robots against the elect, all he has to do is just deprogram them or hack their programs and turn them against themselves, and they can become our friends. Just as simple and easy as that. Like I did that video on he's knocking their planes out of the sky, their helicopters. It's been an increase in helicopters, Hawk helicopters and Apache helicopters. They're fighting jets and fighting stealth machines, just crashing and colliding into each other and falling out the sky. The Most High, he just sends an angel and he just hacks into their mechanics, machinery, and just throws it out the sky. Simple as that. And he can do that with any of their technology, their robots too, or give us the ability to do it with the mind, like vision, to be able to hack into their technology, their minds, their programming with our mind. That's power, right? Through his excellency they mount up to heavens, and his head reach upon the clouds. Let me go to 5 again. That the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrites but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which see them shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as the vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Right, man? Just like that. Just knock them out of the sky. Easy work. Easy work. That's how easy it is, man. The Age of Ultron. Just how Vision did it. Just hacked into his technology, his intelligence, and just shut him out. Again, that movie is really something really to behold, man. Most are hiding his truth in plain sight, or he's getting the ease to hide their truth in his movies in plain sight for us to see what is going to happen and what he's going to do. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. Yeah, and that's already happening, right? We're talking about reparations, which we don't give a flying monkeys about reparations. We know that that's covered. Most High's got everything under control, man. He don't miss a trick. And so they're talking about pleasing the poor, and they're coming up with this. This is probably just the way they're doing it is all a big trick anyway. You have to fit the criterias to be able to receive it anyway, which that's probably going to be an uphill battle. If I hear of any people getting anything, I'm going to be very surprised. It's probably an uphill battle, and certain people they're probably just doing it to encourage them to vote. Is it over there in some place, some state over there in America? I don't know. Is it one of them states, California, or one of them LA? One of them places there. They're talking about reparations. So his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their good. Well, he seek to please the poor, but will they please the poor? They're talking about it, reparations and other things too. What the Miss Piggy and Oscar the Grouch talking about. We set up these funds for the poor people. Is it just a front? You put it together. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though his wickedness be sweet in his mouth, through he hide it under his tongue, through he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Yet his meat in his bowels is turned unto it, the gall of asp within him. So yeah, man, they have these big dreams. That's the believing that it's going to be the real big solution solver, the AI. Big dreams about the Most High send them strong delusions, man. Though he mount up into the heavens, he will be brought down. And that's Obadiah as well, to back this one up. Yeah. Through his excellency mount up into the heavens, Job chapters 20 and 6 again. His heavens, his head reacheth unto the clouds, yet it shall perish forever like his own dung. So that's the future for them. Let's go back to 14. It says, his meat in his bowels is turned, it is gall of asp within him. He's rolling over in pain, sick of his own achievements. He's going to be even more sick when what starts to happen. Most High probably start to be fulfilled, unraveled, which is happening now. He have swallowed down riches, he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast him out of his belly. Yeah, all his riches. You understand? Because he ain't going to go to his grave with all that. Gold is only transferred. You can't hide it. You can't keep it. As a matter of fact, it has to be given back to its rightful owner. Thus saith the Lord. He shall suck the poison of apes, the viper's tongue shall slay him. So he's going to be poisoned. Let's just say that. Leave it like that. We're going to end with one more precept. Because, that's the Most High, man. Doing what he's doing his thing. Revelation 17. This backs up 2 Thessalonians and 2, what we just looked at. In Revelation 17 and 16 says that 10 horns which thou seest upon the beast, these shall hate the har. Yeah, and that's the EU nations. They shall hate, it says, and the 10 horns which thou seest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The EU nations, and these are NATO, NATO and the EU nations. So the Greek, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the British, West Germany, and East Germany. Yeah, that's the 10 horns or the 10 heads. So these are, it says, and the 10 horns which thou seest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and the whore is reunited, rekindled, Babylonians, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put it into their hearts. Right, and that's also the Babylonians rekindled, or the Romans rekindled, rekindled, reinvented, reincarnated, however you want to put it, however you want to cut it, however you want to slice it. For God hath put it into their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. Yeah, that's the Romans once again. The nations today, which consist of all those other nations, that they have them in their grips, which they're doing, and they're carrying out all their carry on reading. For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. So they're just puppets right now to the Most High. And that's one of their biggest fears, as we just looked at those examples. Geoffrey Hinton, the pioneer of Google, he said he's running for the hills. He doesn't want no part of it, you see. But their AI, what they created, what they believe that they invented, the Most High put it into their hearts to create it so that it can be their own downfall. And I remember once again, young, and they came into this school, people was doing some kind of interviews, getting people's thoughts, general thoughts. And I remember saying it very simple and very plain. What's going to happen? They said, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen to America and England? I said, I think that they're going to be destroyed with their own inventions, their own technology. And thus, that was the Most High putting, as young as I was, that was true. It rings true. Now you got their own whistleblowers coming out and saying the same thing. These were big names, former workers for Apple, Apple pioneers who worked for Apple. What's his name? That guy, was something. And you also got this guy's name. What was this guy's name? Let me see. That's it. Yeah, Steve Wozniak, and Geoffrey Hinton coming out as whistleblowers, running for the hills, man. He's saying, boy, we're all in the same boat, man, and I don't want no responsibility. So yeah, man, again, I'm going to end it with one more precept, man. Right? As a matter of fact, this is the one, man. Revelation 17:17 says, for God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. I want to give our praises to Yahweh Bashim Yashar, putting the spirit on me to do this video. Yes, the house of David is rising, and everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, and future, is falling upon their own head. On to the next.